So when we take up new meetings, client meetings and everything, there are some general topics which keep on coming again and again.
Okay.
Like material wise or flooring wise or something. So firstly, many people have this thing that wooden flooring cannot be placed on the tile. So that for that we have to break the tiles or something like that. So for that, what will we say?
First of all, it's good that we are discussing. Even I heard these questions like from many people, like how can we use wooden flooring and what is the advantage, what is the disadvantage. Many questions are there in people's mind. Like see, some of them like are not really educated in terms of like this material, like how we can use, and they have like many doubts. For example, like how to install this wooden flooring. Some people ask like, should we remove the existing tiles or existing flooring, then we have to install or something. It's not actually. We can install the wooden flooring above the existing tiles or above the flooring. It is like without disturbing our existing flooring. And in case future, if you have to reuse our existing flooring, then it is very easy. This wooden flooring just maybe 1 hour job or half an hour job to remove this entire wooden flooring. Then we can utilize the other tiles or marble, whatever we are having. When we install also, like between our existing floor or between the existing floor and wooden flooring, we will be keeping some kind of foam. So there are like two things when we use this foam. One is like to protect the existing floor. Other one is like when we install this wooden flooring directly on top of the floor. For example, tiles or marble, you are installing this. When people are walking on that, we can hear some kind of sound. So to avoid that sound also, we are using this foam. That is about the installation. And people ask me like, how can we maintain this? Can we mop or can we sweep same like tiles? Yes, we can do that. How we mop the tiles and all now with the wet clothes or something, we can do. Only the thing, we shouldn't pour water on top of this. Like I have seen many places people just pour water like that to the tiles floor or marble floor, then they'll sweep. But that shouldn't happen on this, because this is made out of MDF or HDF, whatever it is. This absorbs water. This gap will be there, right, between each wooden planks. The joints will have that gap, so through that the water can seep inside. If that happens, then the wooden flooring will get spoiled. Even if it is spoiled, it is very easy to replace. That is what I'm saying. Like some people thinks that once it is spoiled, then we can't utilize or we have to change the entire flooring. It is not like that. We can easily remove the particular floor, particular piece which is damaged. For that, what we have to do is like that end beading will be there, right? That corner beading will be there when we install wooden flooring. That beading we have to take out, then we'll remove the particular portion and we can install the new piece there. That is also very easy. It is not like tiles. Suppose our tile floor is got damaged, it is like broken, it is very difficult to change, right? We have to remove, it is like a civil work, cement, everything we have to carry. So it's like kind of messy work. But wooden flooring, it is very easy to replace. What my suggestion is, like when people are doing wooden flooring, suppose your wooden flooring is damaged, you have to replace with new piece, or like 1 or 2 pieces are damaged, so you have to replace that. Suppose your wooden flooring is getting damaged after like 4 years or 5 years. That particular time, this particular model may not be available, or it might be discontinued. You don't get the same model or same color which we have used. So what is my suggestion is, like when we procure the wooden flooring itself, like suppose you need like 4 boxes or 5 boxes to install that particular area, take 1 more box additional. So it will be helpful for you in future, like to change the particular damaged piece or something. No, we can easily remove that and replace with the new piece. Otherwise it is little tough. Then you may have to change the complete floor if that flooring is not available. So that is the reason, like it would be always better to keep 1 or 2 pieces extra, not pieces, 1 box you can just take it.
Second most common question is always about the walls, because wall is the main thing what everyone wants to highlight. So they always ask what type of wall treatment is the best option, either a textured wall or a wallpaper or something else, like an advantage or a disadvantage of anything of that.
See, when it comes to wall treatment, first of all, there are no limitation for wall treatment. And commonly people knows only few materials like wallpaper, texture paint, some brick wall. Apart from that, there are many like PVC panels are there, or you can customize something like with the existing laminate or veneer, whatever you are using, right, for the other furnitures like shoe rack, TV units and all. Using those laminates also, we can create lots of patterns on the walls, like laminated panels, like plywood you can install, then install this laminate or veneer, add some grooves. So there are like customized solutions also when it comes to wall treatment. But the thing is, like, we should clearly know where to use, how to use this, based on the theme which we are doing for that entire house, or based on the color scheme we are doing. Otherwise, if you use randomly, like some brick wall is like here, and next to that, just to highlight the wall, again we are using like wallpaper or texture paint. That doesn't make any sense, right? Like, even we can use that brick and texture paint, brick and wallpaper, we can mix, but there should be some way. If we mix in such a way, no, it looks really beautiful. Otherwise, it looks horrible. So that is what we have to concentrate when we do the wall treatments and all. And some people ask me also, what is the difference between wallpaper and texture paint, and how we can replace this, something like that. So it is, for me, texture paint, when we use, no, we'll get some kind of, suppose you want to do like some cement texture or something, it is easy to do in texture paint. Even we can mix the color like how we want, suppose like black, little tinge of green. If you want to mix based on the theme which you are doing, it is very easy. But in wallpaper customization, it is not that feasible. But yeah, nowadays people are doing wallpaper also, like customized wallpaper. And other thing is, like, suppose you do like texture paint on the wall. If you want to replace that texture paint in future, like after 1 year or 2 year down the line, if you want to replace that, it's little tough in the sense you have to rub and remove the entire existing texture wall. So that will be a messy work again, like lots of dust. If you are staying in that house, it is like little tough for you. So in that case, this is like little difficult, and it is time taking process also. But when it comes to wallpaper, it is very easy to replace. You can just remove that wallpaper because it is sticking with like water based glue, right? Easily we can remove that and we can replace new thing. So that is the main difference between this wallpaper, texture paint. But wallpaper also, when you select wallpaper, you should select the good quality one. There are like many wallpaper, it starts from like 2000 rupees per roll, and it goes to like 30, 50. Some wallpapers, exclusive wallpapers are there which cost like a lakh, something like that. So I'm not talking about the price or something, but we should select the good quality paper. The one which we generally use is like we have some particular brand which we use, that one. That paper has some threads inside, so it is not that easy to tear or something. Suppose sometime no kids will play with like wallpapers and they'll try to tear, so it is not that so easy. And which is like washable in the sense we can't pour water, like a wet cloth or something you can easily clean it off. So those kind of things also we have to use. So that we have to concentrate about. I mean, we should be like sure about the quality of the material we use. Even texture paint, brick wall, there are like many varieties of products in this market, but we don't know which one is like better quality one. Look wise, it may look similar, all the materials look similar, but you should make sure like before you use, okay, this is durable, or how long it will last, all these things. For that, if you, whenever you are discussing with a designer or something, you will get like better idea. Like we can tell you like which material is like durable, which is like more better quality, and those kind of things.
So now we're done with the flooring, we are done with the walls. So next it comes about the ceiling. So many people have this doubt that do they want to go with the false ceiling, or do they don't want to go with the false ceiling? Like they have many questions why to go with it, or what is the reason behind it, and etc. So what do you say on that?
See, my personal preference, if I say, I don't recommend false ceiling. It is not that false ceiling is not good or it will spoil over a period of time. Not like that. That I'll discuss later. But look wise, if you see, for me, I prefer plain ceilings without like any cut, without cove light on those kind of things. But yeah, some people prefer, they need like lighting, like cove lighting, everything, right? If that is the case, then we would require false ceiling. It is not about the look. If you want to add like more lighting, then you have to pull the wires and all. And most of the builders, they provide 1 or 2 points, right? For example, living will have 2 light points, or like lighting, I mean dining will have only one light point. If you want to extend those, if you want to add more decorative lights or something, then you would require false ceiling. Otherwise, if you're like RCC plastering thickness is something like 1 inch or something, nowadays builders are concentrating like that, the plastering thickness is more. If that is the case, if you want to extend some line, I mean if you want to pull some wire from existing point to new points and all, it is easy. We can just chip that plastering portion, and through that we can do the wirings and all. For that you don't need false ceiling. So if you could do in that way, that is the best I feel. Like we can utilize some track lights, we can utilize some like cylindrical spot lights, those kind of things. That looks neat. But false ceiling when you do, one is like nowadays the apartments heights are like very less. So when you do false ceiling, now suppose your fan is there, that particular area you may have to avoid. Otherwise again the false ceiling, I mean the fan will come down. So those kind of issues we are going to face. Otherwise there is no problem of doing like false ceilings and all. If you think from more aesthetic purpose or more decorative purpose, you feel you need something on the ceiling, you need some wooden treatment and all, then it is better to do false ceiling. When you are doing false ceiling also, you should concentrate on the material. Like I said in the wall treatments and all, right? You should use the good quality board. Like I don't want to mention the name or something, but we use like some particular brand which has like better quality. Even that false ceiling channeling is there. Yes. That aluminium channel should be of better quality. Otherwise after few years it gets spoiled and it may sag. There are like many issues in that. When we use like gypsum board also, the gypsum board should be the proper thicker one and it should be the good quality one. Otherwise you can see many problem like in between the false ceiling, no, like you can see like some cracks, those kind of things and all we should avoid.
Okay, so now we have covered with the flooring, ceiling, walls, etc. So now the most important thing is about the furnitures, like what material do we use or what type of quality it is. And sometimes they also have questions about MDF, like where we use MDF, why do we use MDF, and what is the difference between MDF and plywood, something like that.
Yeah, this is actually quite common doubts nowadays. Yes, because everybody wants to know what is MDF and you know how it came actually. Before this MDF material people were not using much. Olden days we used like only plywood, then this new material came to market like MDF is there, particle board is there, and nowadays this is like quite common. Like most of them are using like MDF for shutter part, wardrobe shutter, kitchen shutter. I think why they are using is like, one is like to get a proper finish. For example, like you are sticking laminate on top of plywood and laminate on top of MDF. The MDF one finishing will be better, but what I feel is like we shouldn't just concentrate on look wise or the finishing wise. We have to think the durability of the material. We have to think the strength of that material, right? So when we compare like that plywood and MDF, plywood is like far better than MDF. I'm not saying that MDF is a bad quality material. It's not something which we can't use or something. It's a good one. MDF is a good one, but compared to plywood, strength wise everything, plywood is better than MDF. You know how we make this plywood or how we make MDF? Plywoods are like made out of some layers, right? So in that way the strength will be more. This MDF is made out of some kind of wooden powder. So once the powder start coming out, that entire material strength is gone. That is the problem. For example, kitchen or wardrobe shutter you are using MDF. Direct MDF, okay, not the plywood or something, just the MDF shutter I'm saying. To fix the hinges you have to make a hole. So when you make that hole, that particular area powder is coming out and you fix the hinges, it will be strong. I'm not saying it won't be strong, it will be like loose or something. In case in future your hinges or something get damaged or rusted, you want to remove that, replace with new hinges or something, that time it is little challenging. So when you remove that portion, that won't be that strong to take one more like additional like new hinges or something. We can't fix to the same that hole. It is little tricky. It is little tough when we compare to plywood, because when plywood is made out of that layer, so that has some holding capacity which doesn't have in MDF. So that is the main problem. And where we use MDF is like, you know, why we are using MDF. Suppose you are doing Duco paint or PU paint, that is your finish of your furniture. We can't paint plywood or something with that paint. Duco paint we can't apply directly on top of plywood, because the plywood you might have seen some lines will be there on that, right? So when we paint it, that lines will appear. So we don't get the proper finish what we want. We don't get that smooth finish. For that we need an MDF surface. For example, you are making a table, like a center table. You need Duco paint, right? So if you want Duco paint, what I prefer is like, instead of making that complete table out of like MDF, we can do plywood box, then like 1 or 2 mm, I mean 2 mm or 3 mm MDF on top of that, or 4 mm MDF you can stick, just to get that smooth surface. Then you can paint it, so it will be like durable, same time you will get that finish also. Same way when it comes to like kitchen shutters and all, I have seen many people are using nowadays this HDHMR, MDF, all this. I'm not saying that material is bad or something, but we can make it better. Like for example, kitchen shutter. Kitchen shutter is something like 16 mm or 18 mm, whatever it is. Instead of using direct MDF, take it like two layers. Two layers in the sense, one layer of plywood, which is thicker, then a thinner layer of MDF on top of that. In that case, we'll get the strength and we'll get the same finishing what we want. And the hinges or whatever we are fixing to that shutters, that will be on plywood portion. So we will not face any problem in future. So I think that way we should try. Even we are also trying that way in some of our projects and all. But cost wise, when you compare, it is slightly higher than normal plywood or normal MDF cost, because both the materials we have to use, right? So cost wise it is little higher, but when we see the strength and when we see the finishing, this is the best way to use that. And when MDF spoil is like when water goes inside or something, that gets spoiled. It is not like plywood and all, like kitchen shutters and all when we use, no, even if it is like waterproof MDF, what is my opinion is like, see, people are saying that doesn't get spoiled even water goes inside and all, but what is my gut feeling is like sometime it may spoil. We have to be little careful when we use this MDF material. So plywood versus MDF is like, I always recommend plywood is the best one actually, far better than MDF, strength wise, durability wise, everything. But some certain cases we have to use MDF, we don't have any other choices. Like I said, like Duco paint finish and all, we have to use. But as I said, we should use in that way, both plywood and MDF mix. Then we will not face any problem. That is a good solution, I think.